Okay. Hey, Charles, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty dang good. Can't complain, Lee. How are you?
I'm doing okay. This is the second Lee and Charles is doing glug swallowing stuff. So, yeah. Yeah, and since the last review you said what we were doing, I'm going to have to mention who we're doing now. Okay. Well, first, there was a group, a classical group. Classical and pop and some rock and progressive and mood music and whatever they did, called Sky, with John Williams, the classical guitarist, and Francis Monkman, who was in the group Curved Air, which was the group Stuart Copeland was in before the Police, and a lady whose name I still can't pronounce to this day, and a drummer whose name is even worse to pronounce, their first drummer. So Stuart Copeland, the second drummer, was easier to pronounce. And this is not that group. But this is a group who, when I posted on Facebook and I asked people who was the famous person in this group Sky, and then we had people who only looked up the John Williams group, and they didn't know about this group. And then I said, did you even hear the song? And they said, no, we didn't even hear the song. And the sad thing is that these were people who were actually people whose opinions I respect. So they were the ones who didn't get it. So, yeah, we're doing a group called Sky. And Charles is one of the people who got it. And, well, one of the guys went on to form the group The Knack. Yeah, Doug Feiger. Yeah, this is a group that did a couple of albums that I might not had known about if it was not for how I used to go to Village Music in Mill Valley, California, and I would see copies of it, so I knew it existed. So shame on me. Never knew what they sounded like, but even though I sometimes had up to $50 or so to spend on a lot of records, I couldn't buy 100 albums, so I might only buy 20. And this one, these albums I didn't buy, only because there was other stuff that was also obscure that I got. But, it's not because I was afraid of getting them. It's just because I guess some of the others that I got, which are also very obscure, I already had them in my hand ready to pay for. So Sky always kind of became the group that I was curious about, but didn't hear. So I figured it's time to hear them. And so that's why I decided to review them with you. Okay?
There you go.
Yeah. Do you have anything to mention first?
I mean, just one, the folks listening, Lee's a clever bastard. Because I didn't mention this on the last episode, which was The Knack. I did it on purpose. When you sent me these two, I had no clue. The Sky had any connection to The Knack at all. But once I found it, I'm like, oh, and I read, yeah, okay. You say Feiger, I say Feiger. I don't know which one's pronounced right. I don't know. Doug. Doug.
Yeah.
From The Knack. And there is no Burton Avari.
Yeah.
It's just Doug Feiger.
Yeah.
They were in Detroit at this time. I don't know anybody else in the band. Don't care to find out who's in the band. Because he didn't make it with this group. Man, they made 2 albums. One interesting note is Jimmy Miller.
Yeah.
From the Rolling Stones produced both their albums. They actually went to England and recorded these albums.
Yeah.
And then Andy Johns engineering it.
Huh, yeah.
And he has a Stones connection in practically every late 60s English rock band ever. And that's about it. I mean, I didn't know nothing about these guys.
Yeah.
So I found the John Williams version first. We're not talking about the Star Wars theme song, John Williams.
No, we're talking about the Australian guy.
Okay, it's a different guy. Okay.
Yeah.
But I didn't know anything about them. The Knack, if you reference our Knack review, I do enjoy the Knack. I do.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'd enjoy this. I don't know. This was a
kind
of a strange one. At least slid on me.
Yeah. And
he tried to catch me. He tried to.
Yeah. Well,
he didn't get me yet.
Yeah. But that's fine.
But I hadn't heard of him, so he had me there.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I only knew his work in the Knack. So that was it.
Yeah. And I will say that the reason why Jimmy Miller produced them, I found out, was because Doug Fieger impulsively, he was still like a teenager, and they were playing in bars and stuff, and I think maybe lying about their age so they could get into bars. And he apparently wrote to Jimmy Miller and said, "Hey, if you're in the area, check us out." And oddly enough, Jimmy Miller was like, "Sure." So he did. And after he heard them, he said, "I'd like to produce your album." So they were really, really stoked about that.
Of course.
Yeah. So anyway,
all right.
So the album by Sky called Sailor's Delight. And how about, do you want to start it off?
Yeah, sure.
Sure, okay. What do you think of Make It Tight?
I don't understand the album title, first of all. But
Oh.
Sailor's Delight, I don't get that. But anyway, Make It Tight. Interestingly enough, perhaps it's due to Jimmy Miller and Andy Johns' work on the album here that ironically this has a bit of a Stones feel. So why the hell not? I mean, Doug Fieger has made a career of ripping off 60s artists, so who cares? He wore his influences on his sleeve, I suppose. This song plods on quite a bit, and unfortunately it plods a bit much. Their attempt at swagger just comes across as if they don't know what they're doing. Didn't quite enjoy this track here. No.
I put, this is a pretty good opener. Better than some opening songs off of albums by the Rolling Stones. It's somewhat choppy, like the beat was waiting to kick in. But that's a minor issue. It's a decent song and I like it. Okay, now for Don't Want Nobody. Okay, at first I didn't like it, but as it progressed it got better. It didn't get great, according to my taste, but it at least was not dislikable. The flute didn't hurt it either. Didn't make it better, but didn't hurt it. Okay, what do you think?
Second track in, we get a piano ballad. And it was somewhat unexpected for me. Doug Fieger played bass in this group. And pretty well, I might add. And we get our first Beatley song here. And we also get that most 70s rock instrument, which you notice, the fucking flute. But here I can overlook it. It actually fits well here. Miles away better than the opener. It's a good little ballad here. I kind of like Don't Want Nobody.
Huh. Okay. What do you think of Let It Lie Low?
Back on a Stones tip. Well, okay, country rock, to be fair, or country Stones. The guitar work sounds influenced by the Stones for sure. This one is a little toe tapper, though, here. And I'm sure this one got them hyped up a little bit live. So for a young band at the time, decent little cut, even if it was reminiscent.
Right on. I put, this song is great. I love it. Very cool vibe, and the way they play it is fantastic. It's really good. Okay, now for Taking the Long Way Home. This is like a cleverer Kinks song. It's not bad. It also sounds somewhat like something Bill Wyman would do solo. It's decent. What do you think?
This one has a mellow rock feel to it. See, I got more of a Santana feel to it.
Oh.
Definitely in the guitar work, the percussion, and the electric piano running throughout the song. Typically, I don't have a problem with Doug's vocals, but he seemed to be the weak link here, and it blew it. Perhaps with a different vocalist, this would have worked, but alas, it didn't. Yeah, you need a little more like a Paul Rogers type voice here, not Doug Figger. But so it didn't work for me in the end.
Huh. Okay. For some reason, I don't. All right. Well, I was just thinking, the weird mathematical order, I seem to screw up. But anyway, I don't care.
You're just stupefied how great my fucking analysis was of that.
Yeah, but what I mean is, I think maybe you started two more, but I don't care who starts. Okay, what do you think of Come Back?
We're back in the piano ballad land here, and this one comes across like an attempt at a Chicago song, complete with horn sections. So this is one of those albums we're throwing everything we can against the wall, folks. Was definitely a song that would have fit in at the time. And this one worked for me. Great sounds and feel with the chorus here in particular. Another one that sounds like it would have been good live.
All right, I put, this is okay. It's like one of the ballads off of Exile on Main Street by the Rolling Stones. The only album where I generally like all of the ballads. This could have worked there. It's a nice tune. Okay, now for Bring It On Back. This is a great song. I really dig it. It's got a good groove like the best of Steppenwolf. This band could have been more well known. They're quite good. What do you think?
Man, it threw everything, the kitchen sink at this one, from saxes to piano. And while I can say they were trying, that's what they were doing. And that's odd, is they did seem to have the goods, but yet lack at the same time. Unfortunately, this one just screams, we know how to rock. And the answer would have been no. At least right here.
Oh. Yeah. All right, well, what do you think of Sing For Me?
Sing For Me. It seemed like the ballads here a little bit more than the Knack. They don't do a lot of ballads in that Knack, but they love them here.
Maybe Burton kept saying, hold on, let's not do it.
Yeah, he said, fuck that.
Yeah.
He got somebody better in the group.
All right.
And due to the poor use of double-track vocals, because Jimmy Miller and Andy Johns, Andy Johns is one of the greatest engineers ever, right? Allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't got shit my boy who made Kiss Alive sound fantastic, though, by the way. Eddie Kramer. You ain't got nothing on him, by the way. But Andy Johnson's away, and Glenn Johnson, who fucked up Let It Be. I haven't forgotten. So I'm hoping those people that always love to talk about the Johns brothers listen, comment. Yes, Glenn Johns fucked up Let It Be. Maybe not. I don't know if Phil Spector. I don't know. I'm just teasing. But I'm really just teasing. But Andy, I hated the way they did his vocals on here with the double tracking and the fucking echo. The production ruined this one for me. But yet, I'm supposing if you would have heard Doug with an acoustic guitar and some very light instrumentation behind him with a more sparse type production, this is a good song, but not the way it was produced.
All right. So. I put this as a nice mellow song. It borders on almost being too mellow for my taste, but it doesn't exactly reach that point. It stays on the good side, and it sounds like a song I would have wanted to write. It's pretty lovely. All right, now for the last song, Low Down. This is a really good album closer. I like the song a lot, and the lyrics are also interesting and fit the song. I give it thumbs up. What do you think?
At first, I was thinking 2 ballads in a row, because I listened to the full, all unadulterated version. So I got bonus tracks and everything, so I'm all over the map with my notes here, so that's why it was written that way, folks.
No problem.
Also, Chicago had a song called Low Down.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Not as good.
I don't know about this one.
No, it's better, but go on.
But this one is a blues-inspired rock song. I wouldn't call it a ballad.
Huh.
And some of the lyrics are a bit amateurish. And I do suppose Miller couldn't resist giving this one the Stones treatment, complete with a Stones-type breakdown. It's okay as a filler track, but I can kind of see why this group didn't work. And I also reviewed a song called Thule and Mama, I Feel Your Sadness. Thule, I think, would have been your favorite.
I heard Thule, and I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So
Want me to tell you what I think of Thule?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that was a regular song on the album, and I just forgot about it.
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry. Okay, Thule I thought was okay. I'm not going to say that it was the best song, but I'm going to say out of songs where he keeps repeating the name over and over again and does something that sounds like a Kinks song with a skip that never gets past the skip, I liked it. Okay, what do you think?
Thule is a bit odd, but due to it having a somewhat world music feel to it, it works better for them, I think. This is one I'd had the knack covered. As my only complaint is the backing vocals kind of blow. And it's mainly that guy that's singing the bass notes. He's really bad. But I hear a really good song here. You know, and everything else works here. Especially Doug Fager's bass work is phenomenal on this track. It's one of the better tracks of the album, so I'm glad I brought up Thule.
Yeah, because I noticed that there were 9 songs on the original album, and I only wrote 8 notes, so I forgot to do Thule, because I was drinking while I did this album.
Yeah, that happened. And I don't know about Mama, I Feel Your Sadness. I think that was added.
That was I heard an added extra song that Doug Feiger's wife decided to add.
I thought it sucked, so you really didn't miss anything.
Okay.
And then as far as an album, you know, I thought it was a shame that song kind of sucked too, because, you know, I really did at this point. But because I like about half this. I like the Knack album better. To be fair, I like that one better, but I like this okay.
I like this one about as good as the Knack.
But for me, it was worth it because I didn't know that old Doug did something before the Knack. So just to listen to that and having no knowledge of that was a real treat. But I will say, those people that don't even know who My Sharona, who sang My Sharona, this is not definitive listening for you. But if you do enjoy new wave, pop rock, the Knack, the Replacements, that kind of shit, it's definitely worth listening. It's like Wicked Lester to Kiss, kind of.
Oh, no.
Well, no, not in the comparison of saying Wicked Lester was good. I'm saying to understand the history of the group.
Okay, yeah.
It's like listening to Beatles anthology. You gotta listen to Quarrymen tracks to understand who they're gonna become.
Yeah.
So it was interesting for that. But for those people that have no clue and think Bad Bunny is the Energizer Bunny, probably don't need to listen to this.
No, I think that they do.
That's for us. I disagree. But
all right, well, that's because you're 12 years younger than me.
But if you feel that way, listen to it. But more exciting news: Oasis has got a new album coming out soon. So stand by for the new review.
I'm going to listen to it.
The official Oasis channel is the Lee Gerson show.
Oh no!
I just got the email today because you're such a big fan of theirs, and you didn't.
Okay.
I'm teasing.
No, they're all right.
Either way, yeah, it was cool to do it just because, I enjoyed the Knack. So it was worth it for me. For people who rather would balance their checkbook than listen to music, they probably wouldn't want to listen to it.
That's true.
But if you have any kind of fascination in music, know My Sharona, blah, 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 yeah, it's worth listening to. I'll give it that.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. And thank you, the guy who also is trying to have good opinions. Thank you for being on my show. Actually, you've got some good opinions. All right.
A few. Once in a blue moon.
It's okay.
I even admit it.
Right on. Yeah. You're actually better than I would hope. But
suspected.
It's cool. Anyway, take care, Charles, and take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.